Hey guys, Sneaky Snake here, Brothers in Arms, World of Warships, and today's video is the next installment in our community replay series, and this replay features xkoushik of the Schott clan playing in the mighty Hindenburg, the Tier 10 German heavy cruiser. He's divisioned up with a couple of his buddies from Schott playing in the Montana and the Zhao, the Tier 10 American battleship and Japanese heavy cruiser respectively, and they're playing some domination here on the map Sea of Fortune. So if you'd like to send a replay into the channel, please send it to BIAworldofwarships, all lowercase, at gmail.com. Please include the replay file, post-game screenshots, a brief description of the battle, and then if you'd like Spider or myself to do the commentary on it, you can also request for that as well. I'd also like to say really quickly about replay submissions. We really do appreciate all of the replays that you guys sent in. It's unfortunate that we're not able to feature all of them, but if we did, then we'd pretty much be making 1 or 2 videos a day from all the awesome stuff that you guys send in. So please keep sending in your replays. We really do enjoy watching your content and featuring it on our channel. And, you know, I know that we're not the biggest World of Warships YouTube channel out there, but we really do appreciate it when you guys do that for us. So, the Hindenburg here in World of Warships. This is a ship, it's probably one of our most featured on the channel. I think a couple weeks ago, Spider made a Hindenburg commentary pertaining to Clan Wars. That is one of the ships that's currently available for rental for the Clan Wars session that's going on through the end of December. And the Hindenburg is quite honestly a jack of all trades, master at none, but that last part, the master at none, is a bit misleading because this thing has great armor, it has wonderful performing guns, you have very good torpedo armament, you have very good AA. It is a bit on the slow side and it is a bit sluggish to maneuver around, but you really don't get another Tier 10 cruiser in the game that has this combination of DPM and number of guns. You get 12 of them, and base reload is 10 seconds. Of course, if you run, I believe, main battery mod 3, you can get down to 8.8 seconds. He here, xkoushik, is running the range mod. You can see 20.7 kilometers, the max firing distance on his Hindenburg build, which is extremely far. And because this ship has very good shell velocity, you can see that it doesn't take too awful long for the shells to get there. And, you know, he got some good shots on that Fletcher right at the beginning of the game, and the shells didn't take too long to get there. But yeah, the Hindenburg is just a wonderful ship that there's really no particular weakness that's crippling on this thing. You know, you see shooting at the Minotaur. We all know what the Minotaur's crippling weakness is, and that it's, you know, about as tanky as a sponge, to be honest with you. You know, the Des Moines has a pretty large citadel, but not just that, the deck armor on it is pretty lackluster as well, so it does eat a lot of damage from battleships. But the Hindenburg just doesn't really have anything that I could say is crippling. It does take citadels underneath the turrets and waterline plunging shots from distance from battleships relatively consistently, but as you're going to see later on in this replay, this thing is one of the best, if not the best, brawling cruiser at Tier 10. And you can really go into any fight against any ship at Tier 10, or the high tiers for that matter, and feel pretty comfortable that you're going to be able to, you know, take care of business. Now, of course, other things about the ship that I already mentioned. The AA is very good on this thing. It's, of course, no Des Moines level of AA, but it will get the job done. And the torpedo armament, you get 8 torpedoes on each side of the ship. Now, they don't do a lot of damage, and they don't have the most range. It's 6 kilometers of range, but the speed is all right. And like I said, you get 8 of them on each side, and you have pretty good torpedo angles as well. And again, you're going to see that later on in the replay when he goes toe-to-toe with a couple enemy ships on the A-cap, and he's going to be able to make the torpedoes work extremely well for his ship. And of course, since it's German, it gets very good hydroacoustic search, and since it's Tier 10, 5.9 kilometer range of detection against enemy ships, and I believe somewhere over 4 kilometers for torpedoes. So what I'm getting at with this is that it's pretty nigh impossible to take a torpedo if you're expecting it, because you detect it from so far away. But of course, the bread and butter about this thing is the guns. The HE performance is extremely good on this ship. It gets IFHE for free. 203mm guns don't necessarily benefit from IFHE if you run the perk, but these get it for free. So what that means is that you're able to penetrate the deck and the superstructure on certain parts of the Montana and the Grosse Kurfürst, where you would not be able to with regular 203mm main guns anyway. So it's really nice. But like I said, 12 guns and a 10-second reload at worst, 8.8 second at best, and then you toss in Adrenaline Rush, which he does have on his captain, and it's a perfect platform for dealing damage. And I think that's one of the reasons why that this ship is second only to the Zhao for average damage. If you disinclude the Yamato, at least for me. My Yamato is number 1 for average damage. It's like over 170k. Then the Zao is about 156, and then I believe my Hindenburg is about 153 or so. It's just fantastic. This ship is so deadly if you just let the guns sing and get it firing, you know, every single time you're able to pull the trigger. Anyway, I've been blabbering on quite a bit about the Hindenburg. Let's get on to the actual gameplay. You can see here that his team and his division, for that matter, has made a pretty interesting decision to come over here to the very western side of the map. On Sea of Fortune, going the 1 and 2 line is generally not advisable because you are a pretty good distance away from A, and you can see that the majority of the enemy team is so far away on the other side of the map. You know, the Shimakaze and the Friedrich Grober that's over there is like 25, 30 kilometers away. So, yeah, you kind of put yourself out of the fight unless the enemy team makes a heavy push to A, which they have, relatively speaking. The Yamato is over here, there's the Montana, and then there's the Des Moines as well. But going over here this far to the west is generally not advisable. Clan Wars is a totally different beast, but... regardless of that, though, he's helped push 2 enemy battleships away, so there's still a bit of merit to the deeds that he has provided for his team over here. That is for sure. Now, you've also probably noticed that he has taken quite a few hits from these battleships, and, you know, overpen here, about a 4,000 pen there, taking a little bit of damage here and there, but nothing too bad. You can see right there from the Yamato, only 1 shell hits, does 2960, and another shell from the Montana is an overpen for 1350. But, of course, since it's a tier 10 cruiser, you have access to the heal, and the Hindenburg does have a very nice heal to it. And, of course, if you run Superintendent, you're going to get a very nice amount of heals to work with anyway, in this case 4. So theoretical hit points wise, you're going to be getting around 70,000 if you play your cards right, maybe slightly over that. I don't know the number off the top of my head, but you can tank quite a bit of damage, and that's exactly what he is intending on doing in this replay. You can see that he is, however, moving back over towards A now. His friendlies have gotten on the A cap. It's 288 to 280. The enemy team has lost 2 destroyers. His team has lost 1 battleship and 1 destroyer. So things are still looking okay at the moment. His team has had C for some time, and they're about to get A, which is good. There we go. A is secure for the green squad. So so far, so good, to be honest with you. Getting some shots here. IFHE high explosive rounds at the Des Moines. A Hindenburg and a Des Moines in a fight. The Hindenburg really does have the advantage if you're able to keep it at medium to long range. But then if you get too close to a Des Moines, you're going to be able to use your torpedoes. So the Des Moines really does have to straddle a fine line when engaging a Hindenburg. And that guy, you know, we have not seen the last of Ankoliu, something like that. Yeah, we have not seen the last of that guy here in this replay. And he gets 1 more salvo of armor piercing off as he does get detected, but he's going to get behind this island here pretty quickly. So far he's done 55,000 points of damage. Pretty modest the damage totals for the Hindenburg, to be honest with you, but that's all right. Again, he helped push 2 enemy battleships away and was, you know, in a good position to help his team he was in a good enough spot to help his team capture the A point by pushing those battleships away. Again, going to the 1 and 2 line isn't generally advisable, but in this case, in this rare circumstance, it worked out for his favor. His buddy in the Zao also manages to blop the enemy Minotaur for 22,000 hit points. A very nice salvo right there, and showing you just why the Zao's AP is no joke. 5,600 damage on a Citadel, and of course it has excellent shell velocity, over 900 meters a second, and when those shells hit, oh boy, do they cause some damage. So at this point, he's getting ready to re-engage. You can see the Des Moines and the Yamato, or at least the Yamato, has turned 2 and is coming back towards the A cap. You can also see the Montana is making his way back over here as well. Unfortunately, the San Luis gets blocked by the Montana on the Dev strike. So now all of a sudden, it is just him and his buddies that are over here to defend the A cap. So 2 quick kills by the enemy team gives them the lead. 4 ships killed to 3, and they also have the lead with the C cap taken care of. You can see the rest of his team is over there in the vicinity of C, but the enemy team has made their presence felt. You can also see some Yamato shells are incoming for xkoushik here as he is turning away. It appears just the rear turret from the Yamato. Will he get hit? 1 shell hits him right in the turret for about 3,800. Again, no worse for the wear. This is what the Hindenburg is very capable of doing. And now he is in a very powerful position for a Hindenburg. When you're kiting away from the enemy, this thing has very good over-the-shoulder angles. And over-the-shoulder is just slang for shooting back behind you over your stern at enemy ships that are coming towards you. So at this point, he is doing A-okay, lighting some fires there, gets a double fire on the Yamato. Very, very nice stuff right there. I don't remember if the Yamato used, nope, there it is. Okay, so he did use his damage control. So in this situation, of course, he is going to continue to shoot at this guy, keep up the high explosive spam, and try to set him on fire yet again. You can also see his teammates are focusing him as well, and you can see that the Yamato is now burning on the stern section. More shells hitting him, more over penetrations. Again, not too bad. He's still got 30,000 hit points to deal with. His team does manage to get 2 kills in pretty quick succession. The Yamato is now burning in 2 places, so very nice. And again, a couple more hits, not bad. Now that Yamato is burning in 3 places, so that guy's fate has all but been sealed. Just a few more solid high explosive rounds in, and it will take care of business. And look at how much more hit points he's able to get back. Once again, using the heal on this thing. Takes 4,000 damage right there, but that is A-okay. And this Yamato should burn down by the time that his rear salvo gets to him. Yeah, he's definitely going to burn down. Who's going to get the kill? And that is his buddy in the Zao. So he picks up the Arsonist after already having the Dev Strike on the Minotaur. So his buddy has done some work over there. So learning World of Warships, very nice stuff right here if you do end up watching this replay. Very good job helping out xkoushik here on this western side of the map. So at this point, his team has finally built up a pretty comfortable lead, 438 to 273. The enemy team has they have 6 ships left, while his team has 7. The Montana is now pushing in Frederick 366, and you can see here at 18.7 kilometers, he opens up. And I personally run with the rate of fire on the Hindenburg because, again, 8.8 second reload with 12 guns is something that is completely unique to Tier 10 for the cruisers. It's something that no other cruiser can boast about, to be honest with you. But having the range is pretty nice, especially if you're able to push in and then kite away. You get a few extra kilometers worth of range to play with when you're trying to kite away. And you can also see he has been playing with his speed quite a bit here during this replay and making quite a few enemy shells miss his boat altogether. Again, he's taken quite a few hits, but, no citadels, no massive penetrations, just a few pens here and there with a few overpens sprinkled in there. And he still's got 29,000 hit points to work with, and he still has 2 more heals. So he has already milked out well over 60,000 total hit points in this replay so far. And there's still 755 left to go in the game. So very good stuff right there indeed. You can see his buddy learning World of Warships has now moved on to the B cap. He was 3/4 of the way capping it, but unfortunately he took a shell or 2 from the enemy Zao that was moving over there. And, he's making a good play here because he's trying to get away from Alpha. The Des Moines and the Montana are closing in. So at this point, that is the good play to make, to be honest with you, with learning World of Warships' Zao. Trying to get out of there. He should be able to get the cap as well to help his team at least get 1 consistent source of points, since the enemy ships have now just moved on to the Alpha cap. Now, a little quick thing here about Sea of Fortune. You can see that A cap stretches all the way to the Church Island, if you will. So, with that in mind, and with all these islands that are right here, it allows a ship to be able to move into A extremely close, and assuming that there's no enemy planes to spot, which unfortunately is spotting him right now, it allows you to move up into that objective, out of line of sight. So ships that have poor concealment can get up into the A cap pretty nicely. You can see xkoushik here is getting ready to turn about to the right. He does have armor piercing loaded. The full broadside is out. Unfortunately, the salvo doesn't look too good dispersion wise, but some shells fly in there, and he still does 14,000 points of damage with 4 over penetrations and 2 citadels done to the Des Moines. I was looking for a little bit more, but again, RNGesus decided to say no on that salvo. Now, here is one situation where the Des Moines does have the advantage. You can see here that the AP that is hitting the side of his hull, he's not angled enough. Every other cruiser in the game has a 30-degree normalization angle. The American Super Heavy 8-inch rounds is 22.5 degrees. So you can see here, even though he's angled extremely well, look at the shells that are hitting. Some of them hit the side. That one only did 825, but he has taken, right there, there we go, some more pretty decent damage, to be honest with you, from that Montana, and he was at about 27,000 hit points. So that Montana was able, or excuse me, the Des Moines was able to chunk him down about 10,000 hit points there pretty quickly. So you have to be very mindful of your angles in your Hindenburg when you're about 10 kilometers away, 9-10 kilometers from a Des Moines. It's very tricky to be able to angle yourself properly and still bring your broadside to bear, because to open up your entire broadside, to use your guns, even at the most efficient angle, you're going to be able to take pretty substantial damage from the Des Moines. But luckily for him, the Des Moines does not decide to press his case around the side of the island, and it looks like the Montana is going to take up the reins of that job, at least at the moment. And you can see here that xkoushik is now going to go around and do exactly what I just alluded to. These islands provide excellent cover to be able to move up in there. And of course, the Hindenburg, even with a full concealment build, is 12.3 kilometers, which is honestly not that much less than the Montana. I think the Monty is around, I think it's about 13.5 kilometers, something like that. So you only have about a kilometer's worth of wiggle room to work with. So being able to use this hard cover to get in there, especially with the ship having 16 torpedoes total, is, again, this is a great play that he's making right here. And you can see that the Des Moines is also moving away from the Montana as well. So this guy is kind of out in the open here with no, well, the backup is somewhat close, but the backup is running away from him for some reason. So again, I really like this play that he's making here. And there's going to be a couple little pointers here that I do want to mention as he goes into this engagement, but it's going to get pretty spicy here really quick. He's got 132,000 points of damage. There's 422 left in the game. It's still anyone's game here at this point. 5v5, 524 to 456, and here we go. He comes around the corner, full broadside out, got the IFHE going. Right here, what I would have done is launched my starboard side of torpedoes. That Montana is 4 kilometers away, and he is moving in reverse. The German torpedoes have 6 kilometers. There is no way that he would be able to back up 2 kilometers to get out of the range of the torpedoes. So what he decides to do after he gets ready to shoot his 2 forward guns right here is now that he is going to start to turn to port and use his torpedoes. But unfortunately, the Montana has less than 10 seconds of his reload at this point in time. For those of you that are, that keep track of those sort of things in your head, counting it. So unfortunately, because the Hindenburg doesn't have the best maneuverability, he's making a hard to starboard right here, but he's not going to be able to make this turn in time before the Montana's guns are reloaded. But luckily for him, the German turtleback armor coming in handy. H3 over pens, picks up the Wither. Now the Des Moines is completely broadside, picks up the high caliber as well. He has high explosive loaded, very unfortunately, but of course he's going to switch right on back to the armor piercing. He's only at 11,000 hit points, but he is using his last heal here. He is angled very nicely for the Dememes. He's getting ready now to try to get all of his guns into play. This, I don't know about that. You can see all the damage that he's taken right there, but he manages to get the last citadel that he needs on that Des Moines, securing his first kill of the game, 185,000 points of damage. The Montana once again is baited into shooting the broadside armor of the Hindenburg. That is a very poor play by the Montana right there, I gotta admit. He did take 7,000 points of damage, but he was able to ricochet a shell or two, and now he is finally, belatedly for that matter, turning to get his port side of torpedoes into play. Again, when he came around the island, I would have dropped the starboard side, angled up, and then, after the Montana shot at me, kept my turn going to the right to be able to use my port side of torpedoes, but he is no worse for the wear as he manages to land 6 torpedoes into the Montana, picks up the arsonist on that guy as well. A trio of medals to go with a dual kill right there on the Des Moines and the Montana. And that is why, ladies and gentlemen, the Montana and the Des Moines just are no match for a Hindenburg that is played relatively good at point-blank range. The torpedoes, the armor piercing, and just the total destruction that xkoushik was able to take care here over at the ACAP. So a bit sloppy, but hey, beggars can't be choosers. He was able to spike his damage, almost 100,000 points there in that engagement. And like I said, pick up 3 medals to boot with it. Very, very nice stuff. And he's only 17 seconds away from getting this solo base cap. And that right there was, well, in my opinion, the game. If he wasn't able to take care of those ships and he died in his effort, they would have been able to flank around and take care, or potentially take care of his teammates that are over on the eastern side of the map. So that was a very nice 1v2 that he was able to take care of business. Now he gets the solo base cap. They're up 2 caps to 1. And with that being said, we're now going to take a look at the post-battle results. Alrighty guys, taking a look now at the post-battle results. 414,000 credits received and 6.5k total EXP. He picked up Arsonist, Witherer, and High Caliber. A very nice medal set right there. 224,000 points of damage off of 227 shell hits and 7 torpedoes. He sank 2 enemy ships, set 11 fires, had 3 citadels, 6 base defense ribbons, 60 secondary hits, and 1 assisted base capture. Taking a look at the team score, 2,567 base EXP. Very nice stuff for xkoushik right there. His buddy in the Zal coming in second place with 2 kills apiece. 2,365 base EXP. Very good right there. And then their third division mate in the Monty having a very respectable finish in fourth with 1682 base EXP. Taking a look at the detailed report, wow, look at that. 111,000 done with the main battery, 47,000 done with the torpedoes, 61,000 damage dealt with fires, 2.6k done with flooding, and even 1,000 damage done with the secondaries. He also managed 2.4 million potential damage, getting almost all that he could out of that game right there. Very, very nice. The damage that he received, 79,000. So excuse me, I said that the Hindenburg can get at least 70,000 total hit points. This thing can get almost or over 80,000 potential hit points if you play with your heals correctly. So xkoushik, thank you very much for sending in this replay. This was a blast to watch. Again, very nice job there at the end. Don't take my words wrong. You did very well right there at that end engagement. A tad bit sloppy, but hey, I'm just pointing out something here to hopefully help you out in a potential situation like that in the future. But again, you did very well, sir, and thank you for sending in the replay. So with that being said, the Sneaky Snake here for Brothers in Arms World of Warships signing off. Guys and gals, please consider giving the video a like, commenting on it, or possibly subscribing to the channel. All of it is very much appreciated, and have a great day.